Can you hear that? Hey, what's going on? Well, California's being attacked by a rain storm. What do they call it? I don't know. They have a new term for it now. Anyway, so yeah, with the amount of rain we're getting, which is quite a bit, my pool is over the coping. So that's 3.5, 4 inches in 48 hours, less than 48 hours. It's, a perfect day to work on the motorcycles. Today is protection day for the IBEX. And what do I mean by protection day? Well, let's find out. Protection in the form of SW Motech crash bars. Upside down, but yeah, you get the idea. And protection in the form of a Puig deflector, one of my favorite things to put on a motorcycle. That thing will make a horrible windshield a great windshield just by adding that. And this windshield is pretty good, believe it or not. And I think, well, actually it doesn't need anything, but I think just adding the Puig deflector is going to make it that much better, right? Thumbs up, something like that. I picked SW Motech because I've always picked SW Motech. They make some really, really strong stuff. Look at the thickness of those mounting tabs. If your mounting tabs aren't over 1/4 inch, you need to go home. You're not allowed to play here. Now that protection and robustness comes at a price. These things are 15 pounds. That's pretty heavy. But I have SW Motech crash guards on the Versus 300. And a couple weeks ago, it got dumped several times. Once or twice at speed, but in sand, of course. And not a scratch on the bike, not a scratch on the bars, nothing bent, everything. That's just the way SW Motech crash bars are. So let's take a look at what we get. We get, obviously, 2 upper crash bars. I might forego the lower crash bars on this guy. I have the plates that may go on there for protection. And then I definitely have the, not plates, but nylon blocks. I have the nylon block for this side as well. I think that's all I'm gonna do for lower crash guards. Also, this skid plate came with a rubber grommet that goes here. I think I'm gonna take that grommet out and just put a big washer on each side and tighten that down. They may have done that for vibration, but I don't know. It seems kind of cheesy, right? You really can't tighten this all the way down because all you're doing is smashing rubber. I would rather just put a couple washers in there and put some Loctite on that baby and tighten it down. So that's what I'm probably gonna do. There is a possibility, yep, look at that. I can get that oil filter off without taking the crash bash plate off. Obviously it's gonna make a mess inside if I do that, but it's a possibility. So what we have to do is there's a piece right here that I gotta take off and leave off. It's held on by 2 bolts right here. This is gonna go in its place. And then I need to pull, I believe, this plug out, and I think it's gonna tap into here. And if I remember right, I think I already popped that out. Let me grab a screwdriver. Boom, screwdriver plugs out. They will fly halfway across the garage when you pop them out. So we got a threaded mounting boss here, a threaded mounting boss there. They'll go up and connect to that U-shaped steel piece up top. Looks like a rather simple install. You have 2 long bolts for the top. These spacers will go here. I would imagine the 2 shorter bolts and nuts will secure the ends to this, or possibly maybe these secure this to the bike. I don't know. You have to download the instructions. I'm gonna do that real quick and verify. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. And I think this will go through, the longer ones go through here with a nut. These two shorter ones will secure this to the bike. Obviously everything will get a washer. And then 2 up top, 2 down bottom. Yep. Looks like the only tool we're gonna need to do this is this Allen. Unless these are not Allen screws supporting or securing this plastic filler. Let's start taking things apart and bolting things together. Exciting times. Looks like this little filler plate was held on by 13s. So you'll need a 13, an extension, a ratchet, and an Allen to do this installation. And don't forget your Loctite. Also, don't forget to cover your pretty paint with a towel or something. We don't want to scratch that prematurely. The only battle wounds that count are the ones incurred on the battlefield, not in the garage. Right? Okay. Let's knock it out. I lied. You'll also need a 13mm wrench. Thank heavens it's not a 10. If you have a tap and die set, I almost recommend chasing the paint out of those threads with here and here with a tap. The paint in there makes it a little difficult for them to get started. On the flip side of that, the paint will act as a little bit of Loctite, right? I'm adding Loctite, but the paint itself is causing interference as well. So, I don't know. If yours are difficult to get started, chase the threads. Let's put on this side. SW Motech upper crash guards installed. Looking beefy, looking stout, ready to take on whatever I do, I hope. Let's just hope it doesn't go down as much as some of the other bikes I ride. Of course, it will go down. Sand has a way of making you eat dirt. That's interesting. Sand has a way of making you eat dirt. Anyway, those look good. And for today, other than the windshield, clip-on Puig deflector, I think that's all we're doing with the IBEX. Now, the T7, I have SW Motech crash guards and a whole rear rack to put on from Rocky Mountain. It's a Tusk setup. It also includes the side guards for soft bags, right? To keep them off of the little plastic panels right there. So that'll be interesting. It's bike day in the garage. We're doing things, making things better, getting things ready. I also have that same, not a Tusk, but a different brand coming in that's an aluminum setup, and I'll be moving that base plate right there probably to it, and or mounting a knoblin for my Moscow Moto bags. It'll basically get rid of these big handles. It's more streamlined, closer to the actual bike itself, so your soft bags aren't, doing butterfly wing things. But those aren't here yet, so it'll be a very similar setup to what I'm gonna put on the T7 here in a little bit. But getting there. Let's put that Puig on there. Puig? I don't know. Someone in Europe help me out. All right, Puig thing, yeah. Mounted, and it's in the uppermost position here. I've found that almost on every bike I've ridden, this doesn't need to be in the uppermost position. In fact, sometimes you just put it all the way down. The fact that there's an airfoil here, or whatever you want to call this, the air coming up rides between the two layers, and it makes it go a little bit higher before it comes back and hits you in the face. It ends up going, way up here and over you, even when this is down. And of course, you can always tilt it. And if it's really hot, you can tilt it like this, and the air will come up, hit here, straight on your body, on your face. I mean, they're goofy looking. They're an old man apparatus, I've heard someone call it, but they freaking work. So, I don't know. They're expensive, $100, but you're paying for this mechanism because it's solid. This guy's been on 4 or 5 different bikes, and he's still around to talk about it. So, anyway, that's that. And I believe that's that for the IBEX today. Not much going on with the Africa Twin. She's almost always ready to go. I need to take it back over to my son's house and trade it for the Versus 300. He has it over there. But up next, the Yamaha T7. Remember on any Sunday, they were racing out at Catalina Island and the announcer said, "I bet that's the last Yamaha that they bring to the United States," or something to that effect. All right, well, on to the T7. Man, pushing this beast and that beast around in the garage, they feel freaking heavy. I mean, my damn GS feels like a freaking mini bike compared to these two. Anyway, it must be that mass that's up here, right? So, what do we have? We have SW Motech crash guards. We have nice CNC lowering links. This looks like part of the Tusk rear rack system that has the guards for soft bags. Same here. And we have a tail tighty. Got a lot of work here. Let's start unboxing. I think I'm going to do the rear rack first. Maybe the tail tighty last. Looks a little more involved. See how the crash guards look as far as fitment. Hopefully they're like the IBEX where you don't replace factory motor mount bolts. These just bolt on existing holes, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen. And then the lowering links are lowering links. Those are always the same to install no matter what brand or what bike you're putting them on. They are 3/4 inch, I think, maybe 1 inch, but I've read reviews that they're only 3/4 of an inch. We'll measure. We're going to find out. I wanted to point out that Rocky Mountain started using this sticky bubble wrap. This stuff is cool. It's really sticky on this side, obviously, and bubble wrap on this side, but it sure makes packaging things better and more efficient on their end, I'm imagining. Caveat, I'm sure they wrap that up right before they ship it, but I would not leave it on in hot weather. So when you get your product, maybe unpackage it. I know a lot of you grab things and put it on right away, but some people may put it on a shelf and let it sit. I think I would take the sticky bubble wrap off, otherwise you're gonna have sticky everywhere. I'm just guessing. I don't know, sure seems like that's a possibility. I like the idea, but don't leave the stuff on there. Or you could be working out your triceps and biceps with some Goo Gone or whatever it's called. Another product my brother found were these lashing points. Another product by Nice CNC. These guys make pretty good stuff. I've got a couple of their pieces on my GS too. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get them to work with the attachment points. They go underneath the passenger footrests, and they give you places to lash down, right? Vertical and horizontal. Pretty cool. I like them. You know, I'm a big fan of reusing factory hardware if it's long enough. That's plenty of thread going up into that frame, so I'm not going to use the extended screws. I don't know why you would, right? 5 or 6 threads is more than enough. So I'm going to put a little Loctite on these and bolt these up. But anyway, that's what you're going to end up with. Mount it on there. Attach point for the Tusk rack on the aft end there, and then your lashing tie down points, all these other little loops, that's a pretty substantial little bracket there, so it'll hold. Cool beans. I am retracting that last statement. The threaded portion in the frame itself is probably about 1/4 inch deep, so that only left with about 2 or 3 threads. So yeah, we're gonna go with the supplied hardware. All right, rear rack and guards installed. Good job, Rocky Mountain. Those things are sick. Anyway, only thing I think would be possibly better, I think if these bolts were 2 threads longer, I'd be happier because we're going through 2 pieces of material here. I don't know, maybe making an option when they order it that I'm gonna use these and these. I don't know. I mean, there was probably this much bolt sticking through, which is enough. But 2 or 3 more threads would have been mo better. So we got some molly action going here. We're protecting the plastics. We're tied into the foot peg rests. We also have the nice CNC strap locations now. Man, this is cool. I think he ordered a set of Tusk bags, the larger set, in gray with a roll top gray waterproof bag. Should be good. I think I'm going to see if Moscow Moto has any Noblins in stock and install one here for his Tusk bags. I installed one of my Tusk bags because I have a Tusk set and a Moscow set. And I just like the Noblin. It's good. But yeah, man, those look freaking cool. I'm digging it. Very well done. Like I said, good job, Rocky Mountain. Pretty sick. On to the crash guards. All right, SW Motech crash guards for the 2025 Yamaha T7. Looks like we had a couple clamps, a couple brackets, various spacers, washers, 2 small bolts, probably go to those clamps. 4 shorter Allen bolts, don't know. And a couple of bolts. One almost qualifies as a BFB. That's big bolt, for those of you that don't know. SW Motech requires you scan the QRC code and download the instructions. So we'll do that right now. So you can see that clamp back in here that comes with the crash guards. It clamps around this pipe. Then there's an L bracket that comes back. And then the crash bar screws into the L bracket, which has a nut welded on the back side. Replace one Yamaha bolt here with a bolt and a spacer. A second one here with a bolt and a spacer. And same on the other side. All 4 spacers are different lengths though. So check the instructions. Anyway, they're pretty stoutly mounted, if you ask me. All right, crash bars on, pretty simple. I had to order a long 10 mil Allen to torque this. I don't have a long one, so it'll be here tomorrow morning and I'll torque that. I got the other side, no problem. They could have welded this down a little more, I mean, whatever. But that's torqued, everything else is torqued, both sides except for that one. I'll torque it tomorrow, but ready to crash. Well, let's not crash, but you know what I'm saying. Those look good. Man, she's coming together nicely. Yep. Digging it. It's the Gigantus dirt bike. All right, lowering links on. I'm gonna guess it lowered it 3/4 of an inch, but I can get both balls of my feet down now. Whereas before I had one ball and one tiptoe. She's a tall one. So yeah, my guess is it lowered it 3/4 of an inch, which isn't all that bad. I was hoping for 1 inch, but we'll take 3/4. It's looking good, looking good. Oh yeah, nice CNC. Oh, I put them on with the words upside down. Come on, man. That way when you flip the bike, you can read it, right? Just my guess. And one more mod this weekend. Removed the factory rack and installed the Westwind Moto rack. And then attached my GV model key bracket to it. Everything went pretty smoothly, actually. I might even have saved a few pounds. This seems a little lighter than the cast piece that came off. Pretty simple installation. Same bolt for mounting right here. Bracket goes underneath the foot peg, passenger foot peg rest. 2 screws. 2 main bolts going down to the frame. 2 more bolts securing the back of the rack, and then this GV plate's just screwed to that, or bolted to that rather. It'll do. I also ran the pigtail up from the factory accessory lead, so it's easier to get to. I'll have to zip tie that off somewhere. I think I have a carpet ride coming. I'm gonna try that. One of the cheap ones. We'll see how it works. If you want to tap into CF Moto's supplied accessory leads, you have to take off this white panel on the left side. There's 3 Allens. There is a Phillips. There's 2 Phillips actually. One's up under there. See that tab? And the other one is here. And then everything pulls off. There's clips and grommets. Anyway, there's 2 leads under here. I've already tapped into them with a bigger pigtail. Let's see if I can get it out. Yeah, so these 2 leads, the red one is power or a positive and the green one is ground. And I just made a longer pigtail so I could run it up through here. And now we're gonna put it back together. Yay.
All right. Also did the 15-tooth sprocket update. Almost forgot about that. And here are some pictures of the finished product for now. Everything worked out really well. All the accessories bolted on as expected, and everything looks great. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time.